up, y'all? I'm Nick.
I am Lawrence.
We just saw Babylon. Before we say what's real, slap that like button for us, all right?
Down below.
This movie was perfect. I loved it. The entire thing, front to end, perfect. All the acting, phenomenal. I loved Margaret Robbie. That's her name, right?
Margaret Robbie, yes.
Robbie.
Harley Quinn.
Yeah, she was perfect. Storylines, everything was great. Initial thoughts.
Initial thoughts. Hey, this movie to me was excellent. Excellent movie. It had that once upon a time in Hollywood kind of feel to it. With Leonardo DiCaprio
That
and
movie
Brad
was
Pitt.
dope, too.
It had that
Same feeling.
it had that feel to it, the movie took place in 1926. It had that,
Yeah.
old school feel to it. It's basically the movie's just about, the times, like the good and bad times in Hollywood.
It's
What
the
goes
start of
on?
Hollywood, right?
Yeah, the start of Hollywood. You had Margaret Robbie's character talk to Manny about
Inspiring acting.
expired artists talking about their future, what they want to do. She said she already was a star, even though she wasn't a star yet. She lived basically in a crack house where they did crack in the front and the back, and her daddy was sitting there just crazy. What he ended up being? He ended up being her manager and open a diner,
Which
and
is never a good idea.
never have your family be your manager. That is
Manny-
definitely true.
Manny he was like a do boy at first.
Yeah.
And then,
Paying his dues.
paying his dues. Then Leonardo, my bad. What's his
Brad
name?
Pitt.
Brad Pitt came up to him, was like, you should join the set with him. And he just had a convo with the girl about what he wants to do in Hollywood, and he felt like this was his moment. So he enters Hollywood. When I tell you it starts off, this movie reeks of sin. I knew with the name, I was like, oh, this movie, it's gotta have that epicness, like sex, drugs, violence, everything in once. Everything in one put in.
Nirvana. Top of Nirvana feel. I loved basically like the realness they were showing us in the movies. Like when they were on set, people were dying left and right. Like those things actually happen on set.
That was sick though. There's like that's a disease, right? It's a whole spear in his chest. I'm like, all right, man, they're hilarious, bro.
Yeah, they're literally every time they're on set, someone dies. There was that one time they're on set, old boy's in the room, he burning up.
I'm about to have a heart attack.
I'm about to have a heart attack. Tells everybody, I'm about to have a heart attack. It's too hot in here. I can't do this anymore. Literally, they finally get the take to work out. Everything's perfect. They open the door. Here he is, dead. No pulse.
You would think it's 3 hours long, so you're thinking it's gonna start slow. The moment it starts, we already knew when they showed the elephant. I'm thinking it's just gonna fall down the hill and just ruin the elephant. The elephant literally, what is that, diarrhea?
Diarrhea.
It's going.
Takes a big old dookie all over the dude. Big old dookie. Then the next scene we see, they made it to the house. Old girl is peeing all over the big dude, and he's loving every minute of it. He wants some more.
She said, "Hey, like that."
She getting paid good for it or whatnot, but it's like, whoa. The same girl ends up having to go to the hospital. She's over here OD.
But that was her opportunity to get a chance at the role. Because, like when the girl overdosed, Margaret, she's just aspiring.
Yeah.
And then they threw her right in there.
And she was a natural. Did you see?
She killed it.
She was natural.
They had this part where she's acting, and she seemed like she's starstruck. And she goes to the bar, she's drinking, and she just takes over. She fondles this guy nuts, and even the director, she was just like,
but she was loving every minute of it.
bro, she was
You
perfect.
can't take your eyes off of it. That's how good it was.
And then they had it to where they wanted her to cry. And this is why I knew. I was like, oh man. She instantly cried on the spot.
And
once.
And she could give you one tear or two. She was like, hey, I need you to just, give me like not as much. You need one tear or two. She knew how to do it perfectly. It was like she was born for the beginning of Hollywood. Because back then in Hollywood, right, you didn't talk. You know what I mean? You didn't talk back then. You basically were pantomiming. You were gesturing to show everything, and they would write. They would write what was going on, and she was perfect for that.
She was so vulgar. They never had vulgarness before.
Yes,
and I think that's what turned everybody on. They're like, oh, we love it.
But that same vulgarness was her downfall.
And
She
That's
couldn't stop
where.
gambling. She couldn't stop the drugs. She couldn't stop everything she was doing.
Oh, let's talk about my boy Manny.
Let's talk about Manny.
All right, Manny.
Thirsty ass Manny. My bad. Thirsty ass Manny. Yes.
This dude was in love. What's her name?
I think it's
Lorraine.
Lorraine or something like that. Yeah.
He was in love with Miss Lorraine.
Margot
And
Robbie's character.
This whole movie was him wanting her. And man, when I was telling you, I was getting so pissed because I'm like, bro, let her go. Let her go.
She's for the streets.
But he chased her the whole movie. He wanted to get Hollywood. He was sick at first when she got on the set first. But then when he made his way, it was like her ascension, he was just starting. But as she was descending, he was rising.
When he
Becoming a
put
producer.
our brother on, when he put our brother on his,
Let's talk about Sydney.
yes, let's talk about our brother Sydney.
Dope character. He was in the group at first. And he just said, you know what, I'm gonna take this opportunity. He went to Hollywood. And
But how did he get to Hollywood though? What happened with him and Manny?
Manny, he said, hey, you got the camera pointed the wrong way. Brother would do that.
Shoot a shot.
And he made it. Manny said, you know what? That's my idea. That's also what put Manny on.
Yep.
So they both took the opportunity and it changed both their lives. Sydney, man, he walked in the house. Oh man, he come up there. I'm like, oh man, he loving it. He get the car. Sydney was a jazz player, trumpet.
Sax, trumpet, yeah.
And he's killing the roles. I never seen a movie. I guess back then that was their movie music video. So
Yes,
that was
yeah.
kind of dope. So they were selling that to the Negro crowd. That's how they wanted to make money. But the sad part about his story was it was getting so far, and as high up he got in Hollywood, when they brought him around the crowd of the rich, whites, they had so many questions, and pretty much they wanted him to be like, I hate to even say it, but like, dance for him. Oh, do this for us. Now he's just like, yo, I got to split.
The stereotypes were coming.
And I think the straw that broke the camel's back
Definitely was the final straw here.
was when they told him, like, look, we need you to use this makeup because you're not dark enough because the colored crowd won't respect it.
Because the light was right on him and they wouldn't know if he was black or not.
So they gave him charcoal. And he tastes this. He looks at it, and I felt bad because I'm like, bro, don't do it.
But why did he do it? Because he wanted his fellow brothers to also get paid. Because if he doesn't do it, they don't get paid.
Nobody gets paid. So he did it. He took it on the chin. He killed it like he always did. The music in the movie was phenomenal.
Beautiful music, beautiful picture. Everyone's dressed to the nine. Everybody's got their Sunday best on.
Man, the makeup. Like, I truly think this is a perfect movie. There's so much we can say, but everything was executed well. Like, very well. The acting, man, and the tragedy though was Jack wanting to die.
Because he wasn't a star anymore. Basically, when they flipped from having to talk, he just didn't have that same swagger anymore.
Yeah, man,
You see, when you have to, that's what happened to a lot of actors back then, is when you actually starting having to talk, it just wasn't working out for him. And for Jack, he was literally the biggest star in Hollywood.
He was feeling sick too, though.
And that speech from the basically Roger Ebert of the movie, Eleanor, basically telling him how it was. Like, hey, Jack, well, I've had dry spells before. That's what Jack said. She said, no, you're through.
You're done.
You're done. And you need to appreciate being done, because in the future, as we saw at the end of the movie, you will always be known. 100 years from now, you will still be known as one of the best ever. But you need to understand that your time is done and that you need to basically just come to the realization.
When he took that last role, he was like, be honest with me. Was the movie shit? He's like, yeah.
Would I really be helping you out?
Yeah, you're saving me.
Be honest with me for at least 10 seconds.
And I just thought that was like the end of his chapter. Even he had a new wife. This was his third, fourth divorce.
I think it was like fifth by the time we got to Rebecca at the end.
At the end of it all, my man say, I can't do it no more.
Put the gun to his head in his room and just forgot about life. Did not care about whatever and just said goodbye. I think his friend George also killing himself was also one of the nails in the coffin for
that
him.
was tough.
He kept on helping George out of all his breakups or whatnot. And once George killed himself the same way, shot in his head, I think that was the beginning of the end for old Jack. And Jack was a great character.
But towards the end of the movie, Manny returns to the theater, and it's showing the transition from how they started, and he wanted to be a part of something great. And he has tears in his eyes because it's showing him that where they started and where Hollywood has come was just beautiful.
It came so far. It reminisced from the past of when Margaret Robbie, because she passed away at 34.
Yeah, she owed a lot of money. They came and got her.
Yeah, she owed 85 grand. There was a funny scene where they gave them 85 grand.
They went to the eyes of hell, bro.
They said the asshole of Hollywood.
Yeah, there you go, the asshole of Hollywood.
And they went down into it, and old dude ate a rat. Just ate that rat, loved it to death. I thought I was watching Fear Factor for a minute. He ate that rat. Homeboy's like, I want another. Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man.
Tobey Maguire was crazy.
He was funny, bro.
When they first showed him, his eyes, you looked like he was psyched out.
Yeah.
And so they would
remember them bags he had under.
The dude was like, yeah, it's fake money. And he's like, Manny was like,
and when Manny got mad, he kept on cussing in Spanish. It was hilarious.
Hey, when they went down there, and he was like, Tobey Maguire was like, oh, so the money's fake. He was like, so he literally took some and he killed his partner, and they started running. That was hilarious. That was perfect. Man, that was good. A lot of comedy.
Great comedy, not corny comedy. Comedy, this type of comedy is a comedy that you'll love. There's some disgusting comedy, but you'll love a lot of the comedy in it. It wasn't overly done. I thought, like you said, it was a really perfect movie. It might be, as you said, it might be movie of the year.
I told him a few days ago before we saw the movie, I said, this is going to be movie of the year, and I was right.
He did say it'd be movie of the year, but I will point out he did not know when the movie even came out. But that is here or there. But he did say this would be the best.
Either,
yeah, he did say this would be movie of the year, and I think he might be right. We will have a top 5 movies of the year coming out next week, and I can definitely tell you, no spoilers, but this will make the top 5 at some point.
I'm gonna rate it 10 out of 10, but I gotta say, the appreciation for movies after watching this movie just increased.
Yeah, I like being I like the behind the scenes of what really happens on a movie set, because I know there's things that don't really get known. I mean, obviously we know the Alec Baldwin thing, how he killed someone on set.
Yeah,
that was a big thing, but there was a lot probably back then that was covered up.
Was this supposed to be mirroring real life? Or is this like an inspired story, or was this just like a Hollywood story for them?
Yeah,
satire.
Satire, yeah.
It was satire.
I think so.
Man, they did a really good job.
Very, very great job. It is 3 hours long, but you know what? This wouldn't even feel like 3 hours. This was worth every minute. They had you on your seat. There was no dead spots. You were never bored. He went 10 out of 10. I'm gonna go. You know me. I'm hard. I'm going 9.8 out of 10. You know what I mean? I got to be different for everybody, because I'll be told later on, oh, you went the same rating. So 9.8 out of 10.
Hold on. The part where they're doing their first movie with talking, that is the best part of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to say the best part of the movie. It's a great movie, but when they had 7 takes, and there's so many issues.
And these 2 producers are hilarious.
And the producer was like, one dude coughed, and they said, if you cough one more time,
he sneezed.
If you sneeze one more time,
yeah,
I'm gonna shit in your mouth. And he did it loud, and that's what did it for me. We got some interruptions, people being rude, but great movie, y'all. That was a great movie. Anything else?
Happy holidays, everybody. Merry Christmas. I hope everyone has a tremendous holiday. To you and your family. Like he already said, like and subscribe. And you know what? I love all y'all. Oh yeah, go ahead.
just so y'all know it's real, we just seen these movies.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's why we in parking lots, because we want to give y'all real reviews. All right.
Literally right after the movie. Just stepped out. Right out the movie.
So that's what the scenery's for. Hope you appreciate it.
Yes. With that being said, that's Say What's Real.